Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead tarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. This week, your key to the week is the Hanged Man. This is a week for you to take it easy, and it does suggest that this week you may be getting some kind of spiritual intention or intuition come through. So this isn't like from the High Priestess where it gets really psychic really fast. This is about some kind of spiritual message finding you, or at least some potentially an answer to a problem that comes in a very spiritual way or from a spiritual space. The other thing with the Hanged Man as well, this card is basically telling you that in all of these different sectors of your life this week, hold back. All right, this is not a week to charge in. I know that's really hard for you guys because you're all about that forward momentum, but this is really a week for you to take stock, to take a minute to step back. This is the week to, and this is the thing about Aries energy, you can be very strategic when you need to be. This is one of those weeks where you probably want to tap into that sort of aspect of your sign, whether this is your sun, your moon, or your ascendant. This is definitely a week to observe more and to speak little. All right. The other thing with the Hanged Man card as well, the message here is you might be reassessing or reevaluating something this week. So potentially you're seeing something, someone, a place, a job, whatever it might be, in a very different light. And this may be because of information that finds you through that spiritual perspective. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Three of Wands. I mean, it's such an interesting energy, right? So I'm telling you to hang back, don't charge forward, and then you've got the Three of Wands, which it's not necessarily an active card in terms of doing things, but it is a card that requires active thought. So this week it looks like you're processing a lot on that mental sort of level, and it looks like the actions that you are making this week are very deliberate. There's nothing here that you're kind of rushing into or pushing too hard or too fast, because it is the Three of Wands as well, and you've got this with the Hanged Man. It's almost like you're feeling your way through the steps that you're taking over the course of this week. There's a profound shift or change in perspective, especially when it comes to things like your entrepreneurial endeavors, maybe starting a business, maybe running a business, your day-to-day sort of actions. It's like this week, rather than kind of go through the motions, you're really paying attention to what you're doing, and that may be because, or what triggers a different perspective in terms of your spiritual outlook and understanding. So I actually really like this for you. I will say as well, in terms of the options that are available to you, there may be something that's presented to you this week, potentially an invite or maybe even an offer of work or business. I'm not saying not to go for it. What I am saying is this would be a week to just observe it. If it's a good offer now, it will still be a good offer next week, next month, etc. If it's time sensitive, take a day, right? So if it's time sensitive, just say to whoever it is that's asking or proposing, is there any chance you can give me 24 hours to sit on this and to think about it so that I can find out if it's the right match for me and for you. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you have the High Priestess, and there she is, right? So there is going to be a lot of subtext this week, all right? You're getting a lot of deep insights into conversation. You're getting a lot more nuance, right? Aries is very much I say what I see, I give it to you straight, I expect you to do the same. This week, it's not going to be, there's going to be a lot more subtext. There's going to be a lot being said underneath, around or behind certain things that are shared with you or said to you. And your intuitive faculties and capabilities are going to be very high this week, right? That High Priestess coupled with the Hanged Man, that is a dream. And when I say a dream, I'm not like like I had this dream to do this. I mean, like, this is you going to sleep and having a direct communication from the universe that speaks to a situation in your life. This is probably going to have something to do with your work, maybe potentially about either a move or someone that lives or connects to you from overseas. There's a big, powerful shift coming in this week, and it's going to be a week where your own intuition and intuitive capabilities are going to be very high. So when you're having certain conversations this week, if your intuition says this, this, and this, pay pay attention to those nudges, pay attention to those hits, because what's coming through is going to be very pertinent information, and it might be very revealing about some situation that you're experiencing at this moment in time. When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, let your intuition lead the way this week, right? You might have an insight into something, maybe around a question or an essay or a thesis or something of that nature. You might not necessarily be able to prove it. You might not have the hard evidence, but whatever it is that you're feeling, oh look, I got goosebumps. Right, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're discovering at this moment in time, you are on the right path. The facts will come to back this up, but you have to be willing to go into a space that nobody else might be able to see at this moment in time. It's like that gut hunch, that gut feeling. When you read about, you know, Isaac Newton and the way that he discovered gravity and stuff, yes, you can hear like, yes, he was a big brain and all the rest of it, and he was thinking, you could totally get that from it when you read it. But when you really dig into it, you can see it's like he had this instinct, this intuition that there's something else going on here, and if I just stick with it long enough, I'll be able to penetrate what that mystery is. That is your task this week. When it comes to those of you that are working for somebody else, take it back to the drawing board, simplify it, ask yourself, are your needs being met? It could be that there's a really important conversation that you have with an important woman or a feminine figure at work that really gets you to see your work, or maybe even the way that you do your work. And sorry, too much air, I'm speaking so fast, and this happens a lot. Like when the information's coming in, sometimes I speak really fast, and it's because I want to get all of it out before it all sort of flitters and disappears away. But yes, I feel like this conversation with this woman, potentially an important woman, or maybe a conversation that you feel like is inconsequential, but after it's like, holy shit, so much profound stuff came out of that. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this does suggest to me that there's something that you were planning to either release or to put out into the world sort of now-ish, or certainly from here on in. It may not necessarily be as ready as you would like it to be. And so I want you to kind of think about this in terms of, it might need a little more cooking before you take it out the oven, all right? And don't be afraid to take it back to that space, because it means that what you do put out is going to be the best that it can be. For those of you that are retired and no longer working for any reason, this week it does look like you have support coming in, but it's coming in a way that you don't expect. So it's kind of just showing up. It may also be that information that finds you this week confirms an intuitive understanding that you've had up until this moment. Now, before we go on to your love and relations, I just want to offer you a chance to get your seat for the winter solstice. Every year, this is a perennial at this point. It's like 5 years strong. I'm so proud of this event because it's something that so many people have come back to time and time again. I mean, the fact that it's happening 5 years down the line is a really big achievement for me, and I love having you guys be there. We're going to be talking astrology, numerology, tarot. We're even going to be looking at the human design perspective and how that stuff is going to speak to all of us over the course of the next year. We'll also be having a future life progression session where I'll shoot you off into the future so you can get a clear understanding of what 2023 looks like for you personally. Tickets are £33.33. You can get that on the link in the description box below. If you have any questions, chuck them in the comments and I will see you there. For your love and relations, you've got the Hanged Man. So you have a double hit of this energy now. So in terms of those of you that are single, this I actually think is a really powerful conversation that you're having with somebody that gets you to see a past relationship in a very different light. Let's say you've had a problem with somebody that you dated previously and you can't really let go of it and it's uncomfortable, or whatever it might be. This kind of sees you kind of looking almost, it's like you're looking at this person and saying, wow, okay, you know what? I now understand where you were at in that point of our relationship, and I can forgive and forget those things, right? I can move past them. Maybe you don't forget them. My motto, my philosophy in life is I can always forgive, no problem, but I'll never forget because it leaves me open for the next time, and that's not happening. You don't have to be like me, a bitter old bitch. Right? I'm sure you are much more enlightened than I am. All jokes aside, that's how I choose to see things. This could see you seeing a past relationship in a very different light, and you might actually be able to find forgiveness. You may even be able to bury a hatchet. For some of you, this is potentially you are able to heal or mend a rift with a past partner, and it allows you to really just kind of move forward. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, for some reason, it looks like you guys are separated this week. Maybe you're spending some, maybe one of you's traveling for work, maybe one of you is spending time with family, etc. This is actually a good thing. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I really do feel that this is the case this week. For your money and materials, you have the Page of Cups. So you have two time sequences that are showing up here. This week is going to be a very pivotal week, right? And the first thing that comes up is whatever conversations you're having this week, the way that they impact your finances, your monetary outlook, this will go right into July of 2023. So pay attention to the conversations that you're having around money. Pay attention to the thoughts and the feelings that you have around resources and materials, because that's going to be showing up for you well into next year. And when it comes to your money, the Page of Cups suggests that some creative idea that you have, or some spiritual idea that is given to you, or some newfound perspective that you have, enhances your earning potential and it unlocks something new for you. This could be very, very exciting. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Page of Cups, it's not a bad card for health, but sometimes it can show up where it's like the emotions that are sort of thrumming through us, the body can really take the brunt of it. So this week, my advice to you would be, when you have those surges of emotion, find a way, a physical way, you are an Aries after all, to get that energy out of yourself so that it doesn't kind of sit and fester. When it comes to your home and environment, the Page of Cups is actually beautiful, especially with the High Priestess. Mother, women, feminine energy are going to be a big part of this week for you. What also really speaks to me here as well is you're getting a much deeper understanding of the fact that home isn't a place. It really isn't. It's a people. And when you feel at home in the person that you live with, and ultimately the only person you're ever really going to live with is you. You got to get comfortable there before anything else. If you can do that, if you can understand that home is it's a people rather than a place, I think this week you could truly be onto a winner. I actually think this could be a phenomenal week for you if you're prepared to open up and do the work. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me see you and your face and your wonderful soul at the winter solstice. Take care, and I'll see you soon.